Oh, hello folks, and well, isn't this a new one, huh? Yeah, I'm actually doing a commentary of what is well known to me as RuneScape, or rather this is currently now known as Old School Runescape. Yeah, if you don't know about this is an MMORPG I played way back in, I think, late 2006, was it December 2006, and yeah, since then I've played it like total 5 times actually. You know, first being Lewis6335 from about December of 2006 to January of 2007, and then Gielinor635 from I think August of 2007 to about April of 2008. What else? Yeah, there was Prominence, I believe, started in September of 2008 to about March 2009, not too sure about that one. Then Defense Line, he started, I think, July of 2000 no, I think maybe June of 2010, and didn't stop till about, I think, December of 2012. And well, here's this one, just started this, I think, about last month actually, yeah. September of 2015, and now a month later, and I'm already about 71. Like, yeah, all these stats, and honestly, I'm actually half tempted to say that the experience, like, see here, like, yeah, 273k. I'm pretty sure it wasn't 273k back then. I think it was about 400k-ish, and that same for like the 50s, I'm pretty sure that was 160k, yet saying it's only 103. Yeah, that's a bit of an odd one, but oh well. So yeah, what to say about RuneScape? Well, there's a lot to say, even for the free-to-play version, and chances are, I'm going to have to explain through multiple videos, but to give you kind of an idea, it's basically like one of these more chilled out MMORPGs. Like, it's something that's fairly easy to AFK. And now, you know, it's not something you have to really give a lot of attention, unlike a certain version later on which caused me to quit Defense Line, you know, that being my 4th account. And right now, Virtue Power is my 5th account, and hopefully it will be the one to trump all others. Like, you know, Lewis635 was, yeah, best I had was, I kid you not, full adamant. That's like really basic stuff, you know, not like, you know, I kind of base it on what equipment I have, and adamant, it's, if you talked about way back in the old days of 2003, before we just reached Classic, I guess adamant was pretty good on that, but it was never something like was considered above average on that, you know. I mean, right now as it is, I'd say I'm somewhere along the lines, like somewhere around the middle, but I still don't class myself as a good player on this yet. You know, because the thing with Lewis is that, and that's it, here's the funny thing, right? You know, there's always been reasons why I've quit. It's not just because, well, I've been bored and that's been that. You know, like, there's reasons why I've never been able to access them again. And the first one was because I got permanently banned. Surprise, surprise. Second one, it was not really banned, but more like I couldn't access my account because they thought I was hacked. They locked my account because they thought I was hacked, and I could not get back on because the details I provided them was insufficient. Then the third one, I just simply lost the password to, although I suspect someone hacked it and changed the password. And you know, because I actually had all this written down, so pretty sure it wasn't that. Then the 4th account, whilst I can access it to this day, I consider it screwed over simply because all the stats were rolled back, and I have nothing to say why it was rolled back. They just simply did it, you know, and yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, I suspect maybe my account was hacked into and was bought, but unlike Prominence, where they changed the password as well, I suspect they probably just didn't bother to do that, you know, but either way, it's a shame. And so, yeah, this is my 5th account, Virtue Power, hoping to make a difference. And so far, I'm making hasty progress with that, you know, I'm already level 71, you know, and that's not too bad. But, alright, to give a little bit detail about the history of RuneScape, right? Back when I started joining in December 2006, this was considered to be the golden era of RuneScape from about 2004 2007, or at least towards the end of it anyway. And yeah, I joined somewhere in the middle of it, and I shit you not, RuneScape was actually what introduced me to the internet proper, and like, it was the first thing I did multiplayer wise, and it was actually quite a bit of surprise actually, like, because I can specifically mind, I think I started in like this internet club or something, and I used to join, and even though the internet club itself was crap, at least I could take something out of that, and that was indeed RuneScape, RuneScape was, to me, it was like, it had that kind of magic, and actually, in some ways, like, I wouldn't say the graphics actually have somewhat improved, especially in some other areas, which I think is partly due to, well, simply being, Jagex want to keep the graphics more refined, although still in that old classy kind of way. I think this is more reminiscent of Gielinor 6335's era, which was my second account actually. So, there's that at least. And that, but yeah, I think one thing to note though is that, see, you probably noticed with this armor here, right? This is rune equipment, which is the best equipment you can get in free to play. But here's the thing. Now, normally this armor that I'm wearing here, which is Zamorak rune equipment, that would normally be very expensive, and I might have got that for defense line as well, except here's the difference. Back in 2012, at least I think early 2012, back then it was worth around 3.6 million, which was very fucking expensive. I mean, of course Sardon was even more so, 5.2 million Gothics. Surprisingly, the cheapest at about 2.8 mil, but still, it was very fucking expensive. You saw actually very few people with it. And I mean, there's no real point other than supposedly getting a small prayer bonus, but honestly, I just do it because it looks fancier, But yeah, I think the main thing about it actually is the fact that, here now, yeah, it's like all the prices went down to about, I think Gothics is only about 200k, which is very cheap, like only about 4k above rune equipment, normal rune equipment. Zamorak was worth around 400k, where I think Sardom's somewhere around 550, 600k last time I checked. It's all very cheap now, whereas before that was like costing millions for any of them actually. But yeah, well, and it's the same thing with party hats, because back when I first played, even now I think back in the Grand Exchange they were worth at least in the millions, and and didn't take too long before I start hitting the billions, or at least the hundreds of millions. Now though, for this strange reason in this economy, all the rare items are actually quite cheap. Like, most of them range to anywhere around 20k to about 300k at the absolute most. Yeah, it's quite surprising actually, but it's something I'm hoping to capitalise on when, say, maybe a year or two now, they actually do get valuable again, and at least I could say, well, got a bunch of valuable items to sell, mainly because they weren't valuable when I first got them, but oh well. So yeah, much like Defense Line, I've completed every single free-to-play quest, and that's something I set out to do before I become a member, which the other two requirements I'm thinking is to get, alongside all the rare items, and to get 2 million, and to get 360s, and so I've got range and defense here, and attacks coming up pretty soon. I don't include HP merely because that's kind of, I don't know, for some reason I don't really include hit points as a skill. It just kind of goes a lot up whenever you do combat, really. So yeah, but I think as soon as I get 60 attack, I should be eligible for it. But honestly, because of the way things are working out right now, I'm currently on an indefinite holiday until late March because of college and how that's worked out. But yeah, because of that, I don't want to get membership till at least actually got some sort of work, and so I'll have to hold out. But until then, I'm at least training my other stats, and in fact, actually, once I'm done with this run, and this combat run that I'm doing, because right now I think limit routes are perhaps one of the best ways to get making money. You know, I would say smithing's probably a better way, but the problem is that's boring as fuck to do. Like, seriously, very boring. You know, I don't think it would be very fun to show that off, because it would just be me going back and forth on that between this one bit, and nah, it just wouldn't be very good. And but hey, well, you know, it is what it is. You know, but yeah, I think what I have in mind is that I will be covering this in about 5 parts, and you know, this part obviously covering melee, but I also like to show off my bank later on, depending if I can get this last limit route, and but let's see, so yeah, there's other things as well, obviously, like, you know what I was saying about skills and that, you know, there's prayer, which obviously you've got all these different prayers. I mean, right now I've only got like about first 15 unlocked, and honestly I've never really trained prayer that high. I mean, even with defense line I only got to like the early 50s, which I think I was 1 level off from smite, and you know, so that would have been quite nice, but oh well. And yeah, there's magic, but here's the thing about magic, right? It's the fact that, and this is how I've never had to do with any account, and bar none, is that I've never managed to actually get access to other spell books. Like, there's a lunar spell book and an ancient spell book, and I think in the new RuneScape now there's all kinds of ones. But yeah, that's something I hope to do, you know, like probably late in game, and I want to get to like level 100 and such, you know, because yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. There are some quests that are really worthwhile doing. It's like, it's in a way like, when I look to the likes of, say, Maple Story, it's almost the complete opposite. Is it, whereas the equipment you get in there is shit, but the experience is good. For the most part here, the experience isn't, it's nice, but it's not great. It's not like something that you need to depend on quests to, you know, get by, you know. But the items that you, or the things that you can get access to, they're really good. Okay, maybe not all the time, but you know, it's the fact that you can just choose whichever ones you want, really, and that, you know, it's not like you have to do them, and that, I mean, there are certainly a lot of quests to do, you know, but, you know, I do hope to do my fair share, and, you know, but, yeah, well, so, yeah, about this being old school, and that, you know, this was something I think was introduced back in, I don't know exactly the day, but somewhere between August to October of 2013, and about roughly a little 8 to 10 months after I quit. And unfortunately, the only reason I didn't really, well, there's 2 reasons I didn't check out, right? First off, because I couldn't transfer my account over, and the second reason being that you couldn't really play anyone unless you're a member, so it's like, yeah, that kind of put me off. And there was kind of the third reason that there was no grand exchange, which later did become a reason in itself, because I thought, well, because of how people, I feel like, even though, yeah, it makes old school, it's because we as a community have kind of adjusted to the grand exchange. So if I have to go back to barring, it just doesn't work, and that makes trading very hard to do. And that was the last one. So, yeah, I just personally felt that, you know, it just wouldn't be beneficial. And I'm glad that when I did come back, you know, like a good 2 years almost later, you know, that they changed all that, plus more. So, you know, at least there's that, you know. But, well. So, yeah, that's just putting all this away. So, yeah, here's my bank as it is right now. Like, honestly, I would say this isn't very impressive at the moment. Like, you know, this is just me kind of starting out, just getting my inventory all sorted, and, you know, I imagine as I get into membership, this will expand greatly, you know. Like, you can see all my valuables here. I've got got 3 Halloween masks, Santa hat, Easter egg, 4 of the pirate hats, as well as a Christmas cracker. I think the only ones I plan to get now are just 2 other pirate hats, and I think the disc returning, and yeah, that should be it. And I don't plan to be much else, but it's not really much to show off, unfortunately. But well, maybe in the membership I'll have way more to cover. And I mean, it's just, what to think of it, you know. But yeah, I suppose I might as well show off my equipment and such. Like, I'd say like with me, yeah, like the stats here aren't too bad actually. And you know, like this is all pretty good. And you know, but yeah, I'm not sure about this. I think this turret specific is a new one. I don't actually ever even seen that in Defense Lines era, but oh well, who knows about that. Let's see, and there's, oh, that's no good, but yeah, there's what I was thinking there as well, like, you know, about the whole, because I'm thinking here, this isn't going to be a thing for wilderness, like, see, the wilderness is something I do want to cover, but when it comes to me in the wilderness, I'm very cautious, and I'd only do it for very few reasons, and even then I'll just bring barely anything, you know. Most I'd bring is maybe 3 valuable items, and make sure to turn it entirely off, because if you get the scout, you're fucked, and you can lose just about anything. And whereas I think as long as you don't attack other people, you know, you're pretty much able to keep your 3 items. I mean, if you want to risk it, you could bring a 4th item, and when you're just about to die, you can just put the project item on, and you know, so that, you know, if you die, well, you only lose, say, food or potions now, which isn't too bad, you know, but oh well, you know. But yeah, what else really is there to say, you know, but yeah, I mean, I was thinking there's this whole thing about the music. I mean, you probably notice why this is dead quiet, and normally this this game does have music, both versions actually, but yeah, I've just kind of turned it off. Like, I don't know, I've always preferred to play RuneScape, you know, without any sounds or music. Just, it's much like Kingdom of Loathing, you know, don't even want to speak of that game, because, yeah, in case you're wondering, I actually got permanently banned for that game not a week after I fucking covered it. Yeah, could you believe that? Oh, man. But, yeah. So, yeah, it's not fun, but yeah, well. So yeah, I think that about does that. So I think the plan for the next 4 videos is, I think the second one will be about ranging, and maybe delving a bit into woodcutting, and I mean, it's not the most boring skill, although I suppose if there's no community around to really talk to, it can get but we'll just have to see about when we get to it. Third one, I think I'll cover magic, and then later on delve a little bit into rune crafting, which is a skill I hardly even bothered with till, well, actually very recently. But you know, it is what it is. And I think the next 2 after that will just be covering like mini games and such. And you know, I think I'll be Gielinor, then follow that up by Clan Wars. And if I now just to quickly talk about Clan Wars, and the thing about Clan Wars is that when I checked way back in 2008, and it was set in the wilderness, but apparently that's changed, and it's no longer. It's in the same place as Gielinor in Al Kharid, so I'll have to check that out and see if that's true, and but we'll get to it when we get to it, I suppose. But in any case, this is Lewis Wilkinson signing out. I'll see you guys next time. Tell them, folks.